Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is Early Career Academic. On this channel, I explore how I use the Passion Planner to set personal and professional goals. In this video, I am going to be giving you an update on my fitness and what it looks like in the planner currently. Before I get started, I am a Passion Planner ambassador. That means there's an affiliate link and a discount code in the description of this video. If you would like to pick up some Passion Planner products, I would just love it if you use that link and code. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your thumbs up and your subscriptions and of course your comments. This is the Passion Planner medium with the dusty rose color and the rose gold tabs. So I'm going to show you what I've been doing to track fitness in this planner and give you a general update. Before I do that though, I wanted to say this was supposed to be a fitness vlog with footage taken throughout the week of me doing fitness things. But this week was a weird week for me. I had some health things I wasn't expecting. If you watched any of my videos, you know that I had the stomach flu last week and it kind of created this domino effect that pushed out a lot of stuff. So this was a little bit of a catch-up week for me in terms of, my energy levels were really low and I just kind of like leaned into it. It's not to say that I didn't work out or I didn't meal prep or I didn't do all the things that I was going to show you. I just didn't film most of it. And what I did film was, I would say, not at all what I had intended. I want to create, if I create vlogs for you, I want them to be somewhat entertaining and interesting. And this was just, it wasn't good. So I'm not going to do a vlog. What I'm doing is just an update for you to see how it's going and how I'm using the planner to work towards this goal. So that's what we're doing today. So I'm going to flip to one of the back pages. As you can see, I divide the back pages up into 3 sections. The first section is my personal section, and it's where I put most of my health stuff is in here. So these are the weight trackers that I have been using to track weight. You can find these printable on the Passion Planner website if you would like to similarly track weight. Now, one of the things I realized early on in the tracking process is I didn't know what values to put on this line because what I would do is optimistically put the value of where I started the month at the top as though I wouldn't have any weight fluctuations going the other way, which was dumb. So it was difficult to decide what number should be here. You can see I erased this at one point and I rewrote, or I whited it out and I rewrote on top of it. Because you can see that I did some fluctuations at the beginning of, or the middle of February where it went off the tracker and I had to come back on. I also want to share this with you, even though it's definitely a vulnerable moment for me, because I want you to see that weight loss and fitness is a journey with ups and downs, literal ups and downs. You can see that in the month of January, which I will remind you, most of which is winter break for me, I lost 6 pounds and I was feeling really good about it. And then the semester started and I gained those right back. So that is where we were at the end of February. This also, so starting the 20th, this is, I shared this with you in some of my videos, but this is the week where everyone started to get sick in my household. Some of this weight loss is 100% attributable to those illnesses and not through any meaningful effort on my part. So some of that weight loss could be attributed to that. Then I got better. And as you can see, I kind of plateaued a little bit here and I hiked up a little bit here in the middle of the month. I don't remember most of February on it, if I'm being honest with you. So I can't recall exactly what was happening at this time. I do think the tracking also fell off. I'm trying to remember why the tracking fell off. Oh, I think maybe it didn't. February ends early. That's right. I just obviously had nowhere to put it on this graph that I created where I was very optimistic that I would just keep going down, down, down. So then I picked back up here in the month of March. This is pretty much up to date here. But, I gave myself here a little bit of cushion in case I went up. But luckily I've been down for the most part this month. So this month is definitely going better. Again, some of this downwardness is because of the stomach flu that I had. Actually, if I had been tracking in this period, you would have seen it dip even down further and then kind of go back up a little. I wasn't tracking those, so I can't remember which day I actually weighed myself after that event, but it definitely went down even lower. And I was just kind of waiting till my health regulated to start tracking again. So that's what's happening here. I had a little bit of a spike, which I don't entirely know what it was attributed to. And then but I'm heading down in the downward direction. So my hope is that I'll end the month being closer to the bottom of, the 250s here, and, be able to report out another weight loss goal, which is exciting. So right now I'm currently at negative 5 pounds. I've lost 5 pounds and I'm very happy about it. And I want to keep on going, obviously. So I'm hoping to report at the end of the month, a good figure of weight loss. The other things is, my journey isn't entirely about weight loss. It is a significant goal that I have, but I'm also looking to do a number of health related things. I just want to flip to this page real quick before I move on to those to remind you, if you didn't watch my how I use my planner for fitness video, I do have this page as well, which has some weight loss rewards in it, starting weight, ending weight, some calorie info, the whys, why I want to do this, and then exercise options for myself. I'm going to be honest, I don't actually look at this page a whole lot, but I was reminded recently that I didn't really give myself a reward for when I lost the weight initially. I promised myself a magazine subscription. I will say I went ahead and I did buy myself a new book, so I could flip-flop these, which I might do in terms of rewards. So, but if I can get to the end of March and fingers crossed be closer to the 10-pound weight loss goal, I promised myself hair manicure, and as you can see, I really need it. I'm probably going to do it before I go to my friend's wedding, or maybe before the conference. I might do that. Anyway, so that is what I'm doing here in tracking this. Now, let me flip to the habits page. Now, these are habit trackers that Passion Planner has in the beginning of the planner. I put a little tab here to make it easy to flip to this page. And if you watch my planning videos, you know that I put trackers in my weekly spreads to remind myself to check in with these trackers. So there's trackers for my trackers. But so my habits, the ones that I chose to focus on for the last 3 months, are to weigh in every day, to exercise, take my vitamins. This is the 1 line a day journal, floss, and read the new book, whatever new book I'm on. So let's take a look and see kind of how this all shakes out. So as you can see, again, January being mostly winter break for me, I was pretty good with the habits. Progress is progress on the flossing, believe you me, but I was able to meet most of my habits almost every day of this week. So, this is when we were traveling to California, and this is when we all came home and subsequently fell sick. So that's why I was marking it here to remind myself why there were gaps. And then this is the month, I didn't even write the month in here, but this is February. Okay. And you can see a lot spottier here. This is still my daughter got sick in this period. So there's a little bit of a gap there in terms of exercise. And then it's just spotty here. I think probably because of work. There was probably a significant work thing in the middle of February. And then I've been kind of clawing my way back to a normal exercise habit in the rest of that month. And then even spottier here in March. This was the window of stomach flu. As you can see, very spotty on all counts, but slowly building, this back up. And in these past few days, I'm going to rally today. But I did go for a walk on Monday. I want to say I did it Tuesday too. Maybe I just forgot to mark it down, but I am just super low energy this week. I don't know what's happening. I was on a good train and then right off of it. And this past weekend, I honestly don't remember what we did, but I'm sure I took the kids out. We moved a bit. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being bad at marking this down, but I'm slowly kind of creeping back up with the habits. So I might in this next month change some of these up a little bit, kind of dropping some that I'm doing really well on. I don't need to mark it down. Maybe the vitamins one, I'm pretty good at that. But I do want to sort of reflect some of the other efforts that I'm making for fitness. And like one of those things, and I write this in every single week spread, is, you know, the kind of sub goals related to my game changer goal, is the meal prepping, figuring out like easy for me, like things to eat that that meet my like nutritional needs and like help me with this goal, right? What I recently found out, and this is like the big, I think, thing that is like kind of making me pause, is that I have a relatively common, I think it's 1 in 10 women who give birth and who didn't have high blood pressure prior to giving birth develop high blood pressure after giving birth. It can even be so bad that your risk for preeclampsia is significant, because it's not on your radar. Like after you have a baby, nobody's taking your blood pressure unless you're being like very proactive and you're going to your GP and checking in, right? And because there's no significant symptoms for high blood pressure until you're in a blood pressure crisis, it can be really hard to figure that out. So I have not historically had high blood pressure. I did have gestational hypertension with my daughter, but it evaporated the minute she was born, and I didn't have any hypertension with my son, being pregnant with my son. But I have been seeing different health professionals in the year since my son was born, and every time I've gone in and they've taken my blood pressure, it's been high. So then they recommended I get a blood pressure cuff. So that is another habit I'll be putting in here. I don't record it in here, but I do record it in an app on my phone. And so my doctor and I were talking it out, and like, you know, some of this is genetic and some of it might be related to age, certainly. But, you know, I think one of the things that occurred to me is certainly sleep deprivation does not help with blood pressure. And I have been chronically sleep deprived for like 2 years now because of my children. But I did look into the research, and there is evidence to suggest that for one reason or another, women that are postpartum, even a year out, can develop high blood pressure. And it's understudied because it only affects women and only women who've had babies. So of course. But it is a thing that I'm contending with now. So not only do I want to create like meals that fit my weight loss goals, but also now I have to really factor in mostly sodium. And so I've looked up a few like really good recipes that I want to implement into my meal planning and into like for my personal meals, my breakfast, lunch, but also for my family's dinners. Interesting, like it's no surprise if you are, you know, again, I'm not a healthcare professional, talk to your doctor, but I am not surprised at all that like when I actually started tracking the sodium intake, my own sodium intake, that everything I made from scratch was relatively low sodium. But anything that I grabbed from a can or from a box, or that was like pre-made frozen, like, you know, breakfast sandwiches, what have you, even egg white ones that are supposed to be super healthy or healthier, you know, were just like triple in some cases the amount of sodium compared to what like the version I could make myself. And there's, you know, many reasons for that, but shelf life or freezer life is really the big goal, right? So whereas we don't really rely a ton on that kind of stuff, like I will say in my post having 2 little babies, full-time working life, have more of that kind of stuff than I did before they were in the picture. So I'm going to go back to the way that I used to prepare my meals before my kids were born, which was definitely more reliant on like me preparing something as opposed to like reaching for a pre-prepared item. So I've already, like, I shot some footage to this extent, and I may or may not include it in this final video, but I already created my own breakfast sandwiches that are like, as I said, less than half the amount of sodium compared to the ones that I had been purchasing. And I'm, you know, cultivating some ingredients for next week's plan that will help with some of the other options like my breakfasts and my lunches. So that's a factor that I have to consider now as well, and I will absolutely be considering it. The goal is to improve that blood pressure, tracking the blood pressure, making sure that I'm eating like in a conducive manner, and then really trying to sleep better so that I am, being able to regulate that. Fingers crossed it works. That's the goal. Unfortunately, because it's so understudied, I'm not sure if there's like an X factor. Like I could try all of this and it could make zero difference. If there's something that we as like postpartum women are experiencing, hormonal or what have you, that is making it more difficult. So we'll see. We'll see what we see. Okay, so I think that's it for fitness update. I was going to talk about exercises real quick. If you're interested in this and you want to know the fitness videos that I've been watching for doing like high intensity and or strength training, let me know and I will share the link in the comments. But basically, I walk a lot is what I've been doing so far. And I try to kind of keep moving more throughout the day. Like the watch really helps. It does remind me if I've been sitting too long. But I've been trying to kind of keep on my feet as much as possible. I'm also seeing a podiatrist later today because I want to make sure that my, I have some foot discomfort and I want to make sure that doesn't totally derail my efforts here. And then I watch these videos and I like the videos because I like just the trainer's vibe, but also he has different like time videos, like 5-minute videos, 10-minute videos and up, so that if I only have 5 minutes, like I still squeeze that workout in and it's like, minimal equipment, I would just appreciate that. So I don't have to like, for me, sometimes a barrier to exercise is like, oh, I have to put on special clothing and I have to go all the way, I have to go downstairs and I have to pull out our stuff and blah, blah, blah. And I would leave a lot of it out, except my children get into everything and I don't want them to hurt themselves with the weights and stuff. So I'm slowly kind of like, making my way toward this direction, right? And there's a few things I want to obtain as well, like some additional exercise equipment, nothing that takes up too much space, but I do need to obtain like a few other things to like really kind of step it up. But right now I'm just trying to do it and do it as consistently as possible. So that's the goal. Okay, so that's it for this fitness update. I'm sorry it's not more vloggy, but I just wanted to tell you guys where I'm at and how it's going and what I'm doing. Please, please, please share any of your tips or tricks in the comments below. I would love to know, like, are you on a fitness journey? How's it going? Do you have any recommendations? I'm open to all your suggestions. I'm definitely open to this, to these ideas that you might have. And interested too in sharing my journey with you as I keep on doing it. So thanks so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already. I will be back. And next time, I'm hoping my fitness update will be a little more interesting and dynamic for you, but we're doing the best we can over here. So take good care. I'll see you back here soon.